Hey everybody, how's it going? It is time to see, I'm assuming, the end of chapter or episode 5. So let's get to it. We just finished up a trial. Now we're on day 3 investigation, as far as I remember. Rise from the ashes. February 24th, 3:12 p.m., Wright & Co. Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. That's not legal. I didn't know. I never knew what the SL9 incident was just... I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly, that's why she used me. That's why she used what happened. That's why she used what happened to me? What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. Didn't see that one coming. Welcome back. Hey, it's back. Hey, noob, how's it going? Yeah, we're getting back to Phoenix, right? Generally on the weekends, I try to give it a little bit of a break, dependent on, like, people in the house and whatnot. But, like, I'm good to go for the weekdays majority of the time. I spent on defense. I spent all day making a boss yesterday. Nice, nice. I hope the boss is actually really cool and fun. Maybe one day I'll be able to fight it. Oh, 9 incident. Happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible storm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office, Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw was them burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall, so you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why Lana, why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly, Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must have not been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You must have been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that incident. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick, but there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's office and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was a chief prosecutor, wasn't she? Oh, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? Oh, so she actually was a detective initially, not a prosecutor? After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective. I better have another talk with her. It seemed everything is somehow related to this incident. What was the label again? The SL9 incident? Yes, the name of everyone connected to this trial is listed in here. All that's left is to figure out just what role everyone's played in this case. If we search hard enough, I think we'll find our answers. But what exactly did or didn't Lana do? Not sure I want to know everything. Charlie! Lana, Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence, I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risk, Lana. Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was a reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have the right to know, Mr. Wright. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. But all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us, Emma? This doesn't involve just me. Don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. Detective Lana Sky, it's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he worked with the crime scenes. Damon Gant, he was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detective lead investigating Dark. Second in command, that means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was a serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place, when he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So, you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies: Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and laid unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident? That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident, just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the rulings against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of the case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police station, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. I said, you never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Hey, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case, I needed to know the truth about it. It was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us what exactly happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with that broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? The case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that SL9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he? Your brother. He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors. I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have been really close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall, there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years ago have already gone by. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissions would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be the obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky. The investigation laid Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her says so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that you mentioned it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret, it all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. No! He was the coolest. Your brothers are all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is a word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use a connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Oh, that's a nice piano. Is Damon Gant gonna be the final boss? I love his theme. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they... I never could remember where C was. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of me, Lana, and Neil. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. Can't quite seem to put my finger on it. Having a pipe organ's pretty sus. Is it sus? Is it? Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. Gonna lock up here, so let's get out together. Oh. But this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long been closed. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Gant has like this big ass presence and I'm about it. It's just, you can feel the like aura spewing off him. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason why he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. No, no. Get me out of there. Yes, no. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? Well, I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you two in court. It sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsifies evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. No, Quinby. We don't do the Blue Badger here anymore. We're done with the Blue Badger forever. Also welcome. Perhaps the Blue Badger is not done with you. Oh, it don't matter. Blue Badger's done. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is a guilty party here, isn't she? Phoenix? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise up to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all that pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. I think Edgeworth is strong. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. Gumshoe, you're smart. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did he find out anything? Yeah, the only evidence Stark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack, you mean, when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Well, let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress me. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car, so it was an accident? An accident, yes, but transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed the person on the scene. A kid walked by just then too, so he killed him as well. A jogger came by the scene and, well, was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe that would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in the locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edwards' car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. What? Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet. Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know, pal. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Oh, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What, really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I could be canned. Oh, sorry, pal. Don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe's our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him to change his mind. Yes. Somewhere. Maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. Hmm. I gotta show Gumshoe something. Hmm. Yes, I did. Quick, run. Achoo. If it's any case, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint. Okay, so I have to show him something, but I don't know what to show him. Probably even busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence. Must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:50. Yeah, I thought we were finally making headway in our case. But instead, it looks like just ended up making Lon look even guiltier in there. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. There he is. It looks like he's writing something. What? What are you doing here? You're just quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Well, he's trying to hide his real feelings, so what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Give me a few moments, I'll be right back. I'm back. Like, lean back just a little bit. Alright, let's get to it. Hold on. Edgy. Forged evidence. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do to erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that's the evidence, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as a prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work, so tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Tell me why ain't nothing but a even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Tomorrow's trial. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial and now this one? It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove this suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Hey, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture? Something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened on that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in the ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this. Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning the day on the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes. It was a piece of evidence in the case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to. That's right. But this isn't related to the case, remember? You said so yourself, so I did. Chief Gang gave you this that day, didn't he? He asked you to bring it here from the police department. So the chief is a very competent man, but sometimes he does things that doesn't make any sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing things that don't make sense. A certain detective comes to mind. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Gumshoe's this. We appreciate Gumshoe in this chat. Remember what? That was the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with two characters. The first means halberd, the second one means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure, of course. Everyone knows that story. Why don't you tell it again, though, for Emma's sake? Exactly. Tell it for Emma. Very well. I know it well, but Emma probably doesn't. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd he claimed should slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Those claims contradict each other. Very receptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters. It's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant? Dun, 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 dun. Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? That's actually a good line. Good joke. I'll keep that in mind for later. Miss Star, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in the trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife? No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred towards Lana. It all dated back to 2 years ago. Dark investigation. Can you explain the joke for Emma, please? It just had to do with like roast beef. How do you like your beef cooked? Because you just got roasted. Something along those lines. Joke is still in the works, but meh. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. So I don't think it was I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall. Though must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye, my sister. The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo, Guy and Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious that evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our teams never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. Proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Oh, okay. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used by Gant. Gant is a big bad. Damon Gant and Lana Skye, the legendary duo. Gant led the investigation with Lana second command. They were the best of the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that, I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produce the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence, you mean? Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall? When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. The star. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Being used. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief... That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean... That's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for a change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, Rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Oh, you're back. You're still here. I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you into the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's got to be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. Hey, that's it. Not exactly the version we heard. No, but this one sounds more exciting. Anyways, when it gets gory after that, I'll spare you the details. Hey, Badeness, how you doing? I'm doing well here, thank you, thank you. I'm just trying to figure out what to present to Gumshoe right now. Horror stream. Are you referring to when I played, LiDAR? Completely up to you, but... I basically snippeted it, I highlighted the video, the VOD for that section, and just put it as a YouTube video. I thought it was when you play the Blue Badger security tape. Yeah, no problem, Badeness. Just feel free if you want to watch it there. It'll be much easier for you too. Yes, noob. The Blue Badger was the horror film. Okay. What would I need to show Gumshoe to get him to show me? Okay, so it's not something I had to show him. Honestly, I cannot find what I need to show Gumshoe. I know, Quinby, I see. The knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? Trace it back to the store. Prints on it. Gumshoe? I know there's no sarcasm. I thought it might have been. Leave me alone. What the hell am I missing, my dude? Move. Now, right? You can't seriously expect me to just sit down and chat with you about the case over a cup of tea. But this isn't related to the case, remember? You said so yourself, so I did. Chief Gant gave this to you that day, right? He asked you to bring it here from the police department. The chief is a very competent man, but sometimes he does things that doesn't make sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing that doesn't make sense.
different. What was that? Something's amiss. Maybe I should show Edward that item. Present the other shield? What am I missing, my dude? Oh no! I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edward, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked, you don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done, and no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh, I think he's serious. It's right. Please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I could use it for anything. How was I supposed to know to freaking look at the crumpled ground? Gumshoe, your favorite prosecutor's going to resign. You gotta let me in. Wow, even when resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. Still, it wasn't his fault. Someone has to be held responsible. That's how it is in the grown-up world. Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing if he just quits. Well, not everyone sees it that way. To truly take responsibility, you should have to work the rest of your life for no pay. That's one tough grown-up world out there. Is there anything on the back? Gumshoe. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? How? What's this? No way. Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he not ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusts us detectives to provide him with sound evidence, but we betrayed him. Detective. Alright, pal. That's it. I've made up my mind. But, here, take my ID card. We can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective, thank you. Gumshoe. Oh my god. The goat. In the true grown-up world, you make your underlings take responsibility for your mistakes. True. Detective Gumshoe isn't very photogenic, is he? Whatever you do, just don't say that's his face. Look, his eyes are half shut. Yeah, and his mouth is half open. Hey, each of his shirt buttons is off a notch, and he's got the narrow end of his tie in front. I think this goes beyond being a photogenic issue. Don't call Gumshoe out like that. Gumshoe did nothing wrong. Typically by laying the off, yeah. And sometimes in the grown-up world, you buy an entire social media company and promptly drive it into the ground. Is that a reference to something, Bateness? Because I have a feeling I know what you're referring to. February 24th, Police Department, Chief's Office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Click. Beep. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out, pal. I love Gumshoe. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. Didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Detective Gumshoe, what are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong, so I came too. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd just have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. Gumshoe's part of the crew. Let's go. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. Got a bad feeling about this. The desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. But ever since Lon left, no one's ever touched that desk. No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. You don't think Chief Gant's the culprit, do you, pal? No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now then, let's look around for a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go, like that. Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. No, Gumshoe will never get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant, so it's finally come to this. The final boss, the big bad. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. And sometimes in the real world, you lay people off because they are disabled. Then you gotta find out that their contract says you gotta pay them either way. Yep, also true. Dude's got a pipe organ. Dude does have a pipe organ. This is a real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, and now the armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. That's illegal. You don't have any taxes to pay yet. Or ever. You're a video game character. You don't gotta worry about taxes. Shh. Be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two, Chief Gant. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. SL9. Oh, it is SL9. Ah, the SL9 incident? I wonder what that's doing here. Hold on, detective, what did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about evidence. Lists, normally they're twice as long? That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-size list of evidence. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Dun, dun, dun. The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the criminal affairs department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of the entire building. Different building, wow. When the detective screws up, the chief calls them to his office and makes them listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's besides the point. In the real world, your tax dollars go to worse things than flashy decor. Whatever you do, don't shove the evidence list in his face. Don't worry, I will. I promise.
These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. This was taken that day 2 years ago, the day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his reward trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here, then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I'm just saying. Saying what? Ever since making detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired, don't say that. I was playing through the first AA, and when I tried to scroll past the end of the testimony, Phoenix just gave up. I wouldn't have pushed right if I knew it was the give up button. During the red, white, final revised statement. Like you were given two options and basically it's like you chose to give up by accident. I've never given up, I've always just failed a trial. I see. That was Lana's desk. It's sure tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made out of. Does he keep in memory of her or in memory of the crime? This is a safe, isn't it? Safe? That word is right with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. A 7-digit. There is no way. Oops. I hit my BRB. Bingo. What digit did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 7 sevens. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of that mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 7777777? That ID number? I think you're 1 7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing, that's Chief Gant's ID number. True, noob, true. Say, anyone care to look inside? I'm gonna try again. He got another chance, but I didn't want to give up. 866-5309, 867, don't. Recording yourself committing crimes and uploading them to the internet is generally not a good idea. True, but Do we have good ideas here? Not really. I just go with the flow. Is there any money in there? How much money does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great, now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective. Excuse me. That's why Master Thief Andy pretends it's a game, like those people who pretend they are playing Madden but just stream football game live. Gumshoe isn't that smart. Is bluffing an option? Sorry, Gumshoe. That's mean to Gumshoe. Are you gaming good? I'm gaming decently. Gumshoe, have you ever heard steal first, find relevancy later? Well, think about it like this. Gumshoe's actually helping us out because by showing him the relevancy, we should be good to go. Like, being able to prove it in court. What the hell? I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of etch-a-sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? Can't make it out. I'd better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? I'd better not forget about this picture. Huh. Leave me alone. I think it was something about, like, I heard Etch-a-Sketch the other day, so I chose to say here. Yes. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? Remember when the three of us put that back together? Ah, those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? Oh, you mean this? That was in the safe? Yeah, that one. That was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Young Andy honed his safe cracking skills on an Etch-a-Sketch. Yes, that's how it works. Andy, is the Etch-a-Sketch in the room with you right now? Maybe. Are you gonna get 5 pages of evidence? We'll see. Dude, if we get an SL9 sticker, that then whatever we want is relevant. True. Quietly places an SL9 sticker on Edgeworth's ass. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Miss Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes.
There it is. Fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief can't willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's one piece down. We found a piece of cloth. We're trying to find relevancy for that now too, I think. Using his detective skills, Phoenix deduced at the bottom, like most, has a hole. Yes. I just can't figure out the leather part, though. I see. Okay. Yeah, it's at the police office. Yes, they do. Take my fingerprint. Not your fingerprints we want to take. We found a... We're talking about that cloth we found. Oh, that makes sense because of the handprints. The one with a handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? Okay, Miss Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder. Once they've been absorbed, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's just get this over with. No! Oh, I'm dumb. Got a fingerprint. Who's it gonna be? No, that was a good finger too. Who's it gonna be? Gonna be Miss Llama Sky. Dun 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 dun. Emma! What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match. Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Hey, you, over here. What's going on? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this info from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You in the coat? Chief Gant. We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Yes. Sir? Me?
Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But sir, now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too then. Wait, you, the one with the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You, with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneak in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew I'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the big picture. But why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. Gumshoe known for keeping secrets. Dun dun dun. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Time to go ask Lana what's going on with Emma. Dun dun. I see, so the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple days is absolutely nothing. Single use is nothing, not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Big-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth, it's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Miss Wright, who, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name? Emma Skye. Take that! Well, Miss Skye? Miss Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about why you think you know? About what you think you know? Meekins. It could have been Meekins. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have known, that could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touche, Mr. Wright. Touche. It's as you surmise. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come on, Mr. Wright. Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. He's sus. He's sus. Despite what everyone believes, you are not the one who murdered Detective Goodman, correct? I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken. I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was a knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and I stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is a reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes, it seems I got blood on the victim's shoe as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Star, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted the fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seemed that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. Boom, 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 boom. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. Dun, 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 dun. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you, but Lana, you've earned my respect, Miss Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer, Gant, and what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. Is the leather part of his outfit? Well, guess what's not a finale tonight, everybody? This is not. Do you know why? Because that took 2.5 hours, a lot long, or 2 hours. That took a lot longer than I thought it would for the investigation phase.
If that took 2 hours, this entire thing is going to take about 2 hours or so. Or I think it's going to take an hour and a half each one, depending on how far it goes. All right, I'm gonna call it a night there. I think that's a great stopping point. The next time we play, we'll be going into a trial, and then we'll basically be finishing off episode 5. That was a good episode. That was a good investigation. We found a lot of information out, and we're gonna go into the trial pretty much loaded with info, but we still gotta figure out who is the killer, what Emma's involvement is with this case, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, Flash raid. Force 89. All right, we're gonna raid a buddy of mine, Phoenix Force 89, who is playing some Tekken 7 right now. Overall, he's been putting a lot of work and effort into it. He's got a new PC setup as well, so he's been kind of happy with that too, and he's gotten back into streaming, so we're just gonna rate him for the time. Again, thank you all for joining. I appreciate all of you guys being here, and I will catch you probably tomorrow, and we should be able to finish off episode 5. Thank you again for stopping by. Have a good night, dudes. Peace out. Bye.